A woman who once owned half the skyline now sat trapped inside her own body, and the last person she expected to save her was a quiet janitor mopping hospital floors at 2 a.m. But on the night she tried to give up on life, he looked her in the eyes and said the one sentence no one had ever dared to utter: "I'll help you walk." She laughed at him then, cold, bitter, hopeless. But she didn't know that the man holding the mop had lost everything too, and he wasn't just offering help. He was offering a promise. Life had not been kind to Adrian. A single dad working night shifts as a janitor, he spent his days caring for his little daughter, Mia, who believed her father could fix anything in the world, even broken stars. Every night before he left for work, she held his face in her tiny palms and whispered, "Daddy, be someone's hero today." He always smiled, but he never believed it. Until the night he met Elena Knight, the billionaire everyone once photographed, admired, and envied. Now motionless, furious, and forgotten, Elena didn't want pity. She hated the way doctors lowered their voices when they spoke to her. She hated how her own board members were quietly voting to remove her. An accident had left her paralyzed from the waist down, and with every passing day, she felt pieces of herself slipping away. She sat in that dim therapy room at 2 a.m. because she refused to let anyone see her struggling. That's when Adrian entered, pushing his mop bucket, humming softly to keep himself awake. When he noticed tears slipping down her face, she quickly turned away. "Don't stare," she snapped. "I'm not," he replied gently. "I'm just listening." "No one asked you to," she murmured. "No one needs to," he said. And somehow, that simple line cracked the armor she spent months building. She told him she wasn't just tired, she was done. Done feeling helpless. Done watching her life be taken from her inch by inch. Adrian listened, not as a janitor, not as someone beneath her status, but as a man who also knew what it felt like to lose everything. Then he surprised her. "You'll walk again," he said with a certainty that made her blink. "Don't be ridiculous," she scoffed, half laughing, half crying. "Doctors, world-class doctors, said it's impossible. They said hard. Not impossible." He stepped closer, voice steady. "I've taught myself things people said I couldn't learn. I've rebuilt my daughter's life alone. I've survived days worse than nightmares. And if you trust me, I'll give you back the part of yourself you're afraid to hope for." In that quiet, moonlit room, something inside her trembled. "Why would you help me?" she whispered. "Because someone has to remind you you're still alive," he answered. Chapter 1 ends there, with her staring at him, uncertain, shaken, yet not entirely hopeless. Chapter 2 begins the next night. Elena waited for him, something she never expected she'd do for a janitor. He brought no fancy equipment, no medical degree, only determination and a notebook filled with exercises he studied on borrowed library books and online videos whenever his shift ended. She laughed when he showed her the first steps. "You really think this will work?" He smiled. "I think you're stronger than you think." The nights that followed were brutal. He pushed her, encouraged her, steadied her through every tremor and tear. She fell. She broke down. She lashed out. And every time she tried to give up, he simply said, "Again." Their unlikely friendship deepened. She learned about Mia, his daughter who drew stars on his lunchbox because Daddy needs a sky when he's tired. He learned about Elena's fear, not of paralysis, but of being forgotten. One night, as he helped her lift herself from the chair, her arms shook violently. "I can't," she cried. "Yes, you can," he whispered, placing his hands gently but firmly on her arms. "Don't fight your body. Command it." Her breath trembled. Sweat gathered. And for the first time since her accident, the impossible happened. Her right foot twitched, it moved, she gasped, covering her mouth. Adrian didn't celebrate loudly. He simply nodded, eyes warm. "I told you." From that moment, everything changed. The spark that had died inside her began burning again, small but fierce. With every night session, she fought harder. Adrian held her through every shaky stand, every attempt, Every failure that led to another step. She wasn't a billionaire in those moments. She wasn't paralyzed. She was a woman learning to live again. One night, after a month of trying, she lifted herself, pressed her weight forward, and, barely, painfully, took a step, not a full step. Not graceful. But a step. Elena burst into tears, loud, uncontrollable sobs echoing through the empty therapy room. Adrian caught her before she collapsed. "You did that," he whispered. "No," she cried into his chest. "We did." Word spread quickly. Doctors were stunned. Her board suddenly began calling her again. But Elena didn't care about any of that. The first person she called was Mia, who squealed on the phone, "Daddy helped you walk." I knew he could fix stars. And right there, Elena realized something. She wasn't just healing physically, she was rediscovering the meaning of strength, gratitude, and humanity. By the time she took her first full step without support, she didn't laugh at Adrian anymore. She cried, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming miracle of being seen, believed in, and lifted back onto her feet by the most unexpected person. In the end, Elena didn't regain just her ability to walk. She regained her life. And Adrian, the janitor no one noticed, became the man who taught a billionaire how to stand again, one painful step, one stubborn heartbeat, one quiet promise at a time, and it all began with a mop, and a single sentence spoken at 2 a.m., "I'll help you walk."